Hello again, and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse, and I am back for another channel update, random topics type video. Usually do one of these about every once a month, maybe a little more often if interesting things happen around gaming or accessibility or what have you. But I think it was late last month, early this month, or something like that when I did the last one of these. So been a little while. Figure catch up on a few things, a few topics I want to talk about today, including just giving my few thoughts on the opening of the GamesCon opening night thing that we had earlier today. So before we go into any topics or anything like that, I just want to give just a quick update on the channel. So again, if you are new to the channel, well, welcome. And if you are, if you are a subscriber, you've been here a while, thank you for supporting the channel. It is very much appreciated. I do unlock videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Sometimes a little more often if, there's accessibility news, something really exciting, or something, interesting happening in gaming or technology, or maybe it's a holiday, maybe I'm just in a good mood. I'm like, you know what? Hey, let's just do a bonus video. Like this last weekend, we had QuakeCon. So I'm like, I got some Doom related stuff. Doom is big this past weekend. So like, yeah, let's do a bonus Doom video because why not? Everything is divided into playlists. So definitely check out the playlist section. Hopefully you'll find something there that you do like. I cover technology, games I play as a low vision player. I'm legally blind, but I do have some usable vision, so I play a combination of games, mainstream games, that everybody plays, and I use my vision for that. And then I play also games, that are designed to be accessible for blind players. So I have low vision spotlight videos. Those are ones I play with my usable vision. And again, for people who ask, is this game accessible? That's usually what I will, put them under the low vision spotlight, or I will put them under the accessible game spotlight. So whether it's PlayStation, PC, Xbox, whatever. Low vision is, well, low vision and accessible are ones that I would consider to be more playable for blind audiences, blind gamers. I have my Growing Up Illegally Cited playlist, which I'm rather proud of. I talk a lot about answering questions that people often ask me. Just give a little more background on myself, some of my favorite tech and gaming memories. I talk about employment and education, because this channel is not just about gaming. I think it's really important and maybe something that I don't stress as much as maybe I should. Just as much as, it's important to have fun. It's important to have access to all these entertainment things. But I think as people with disabilities, I think it's just as important. Like, if we can, I have a disability, but, my eyes don't work super well. But other than that, my brain does, my legs do. I can and should be expected to work and be independent and support myself to as much as I can, as much as possible. I don't want to be a statistic. I don't want to be the, 70, 80 some percentage now of people who are unemployed or underemployed who have a disability. That's really, really depressing. So, that's another huge, I don't know if I'd say passion of mine, but sure, why not? But yeah, you said you'll find all these playlists. I cover VR stuff. I've taken kind of a break from that, but I've talked about that before. So I got a few VR playlists for games and experiences and VR accessibility. I've got interviews, podcast interviews, and presentations playlist that I'm also really quite proud of. I've done some speaking at the Game Accessibility Conference, our local Independent Games Association conference, IGDA conference. I've done an interview or two on my channel. I've been on other people's podcasts or channels, so definitely check that out. And the cool thing is I have a few more potential things coming up here. I don't know how much, I gotta remember to ask them. I don't know if they're going to be archived anywhere, but I'm going to be doing a few more presentations and podcast appearances. I actually recorded one the other day. I won't tell you guys about it until it comes out, but I did one the other day. I've got one coming up next month, and I might have a couple opportunities later this year and even early next year. So, yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, as much as it's really funny, because in high school, I hated public speaking, like speech class. I hated it, but they were always making you do these recite a poem or the Gettysburg Address or whatever. I'm like, sure, that's whatever, but or do a topic that you don't really know much about or don't really care about. But given something that I care about or that I love and know halfway something about, I've kind of largely gotten over my public speaking fright, stage fright, whatever you want to call it, and I really find myself liking to do these videos. I really found that I kind of dig doing the whole YouTube thing. I like doing the presentations and the guest on podcasts and things like that. So yeah, always, looking to do stuff like that. So, if anyone is looking, and it doesn't, here's the thing, it doesn't even just have to be about accessibility. Like, I would just talk generally games or generally tech, or other nerdy things or what have you. But, I mean, I'd love to talk to people if someone wants to, do an episode or do something on the Toby mod. That would be kind of a cool thing too, I mean, I didn't create it, but I know how much hard work they put into it, and just being a small part of being able to come up with ideas and test it and see kind of some of your ideas come into the game, it's such a really, really cool feeling. So yeah, check out the playlists, check out the videos, recent videos. I've got a variety of different things here. I've got a little bit of some brawler action, some River City Girls. I've got a lot of Doom stuff. I've got a couple iOS games. We've got some Ray Trace Doom. We've got some Toby Doom. And if you haven't tried the Toby Doom, I do want to really just plug that really quick here, because the Toby Doom mod 7.5 is out now. It is available for everybody. I did a Toby 7.5 feature video, and you can find the links to grab everything in there. But right after the game came out, I also did kind of a getting started video. It was a deep dive, and everything from here's how you get it running, here's check out the manual, here's what types of things you're going to find in the manual. And then I showed you guys a little bit of how to play Toby Doom, how to play Toby Heretic, because yeah, we got a Heretic campaign now. Hell yeah. And I've been talking to Mr. Alan D1. Huge shout out to him. Thank you, and shout out to Mr. Alan D1 and Predoa and the rest of the team, because we're not done. They're already talking about some potentially interesting stuff that I'm not going to say because I don't know where it's at or what's going to happen. But stay tuned, because we're going to keep this Toby Doom train running. So yeah, definitely check. Definitely check that video out. The Getting Started with Toby Doom 7.5. Check that video. There's a whole playlist devoted to the Toby Doom, because I've been working with them for the past 3, 4, even 5 years now. Hell, I don't know, a while. And again, I'm just really proud of what they've done, what we've been able to do. And it's never been in a better spot. And the manuals are there, and all the features that are in the game now. It's really, really cool. And again, if anyone wants to stream it, if anyone is going to do a video on the Toby Doom mod, share it. Let me know. Put a comment in one of the YouTube videos, or send us the information on Twitter at BGFH79. Fire off an email, whatever. Would love to know it, because I would love to know that people are playing it. So yeah, that is a project that I've been working on a little bit off and on here recently. Like I said, doing some appearances and podcasts and all that kind of good stuff. The stuff that is not videos, if they're audio podcasts and things, if you go to illegally-cited.com, that is just a dead simple, straightforward web page where I have the projects page, and that's really where I have, not just the YouTube channel or the Twitch stream or things like that, but I have a lot of these interviews and podcast appearances and all these different types of things. So, like I said, if you're not tired of, if you're whatever, for whatever reason, you're not tired of listening to me babble, there is more of that out there on the internet, and it's actually not just me a lot of times. It's actually me with other people. So that's a thing. So that's kind of a quick channel update. Unfortunately, I had a recent annoying thing happen over the last couple of weeks. My headset that I love so much, my Turtle Beach, the Stealth 700 that I did a review for when I got my new rig last year, they didn't quite break yet, but they are so on the verge of it that I had to order a new pair. Like, I really, really, really love the headset. But what happened is, I don't know how it happened, but there was a crack in one of the one of the ear cups, right up, kind of like in the frame of the ear cup, right up by where it's right up by where the slider is. And I noticed that, was it last weekend, they were starting to feel kind of weirdly uncomfortable. Like the right ear was just like, what the heck is going on? And I felt up there, and there was a crack, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's bowing right out there. So eventually the thing is just going to snap and fall apart, and then I'll be really screwed. And I really wish that these headphone companies, I know you want to make them light and comfortable, and I very much appreciate that, but I would like to see a little more metal in these things, or something that'll be a little more flexible, because I'm very, I'm not rough with these things. I take really good care of them. They're lucky if they leave my desk, if they're not on my head. So it's just really unfortunate. So thankfully, I don't know if they're still on sale because it's been about a week ago, but when I looked them up on Amazon again, these are normally like $170-ish pair of headphones. Got them for 117, so I saved like $50, and that was a very, very good thing. So yeah, we're back at it. Hopefully the audio mixing should be right. I've already recorded a couple videos using the replacement ones of these, and hopefully these will last even longer, because a year and a half is not necessarily, like, yeah, if you get the cheap $20 headphones, sure, you use it for a year or two, okay, I expect them to break, but these are fairly high, mid-high end gaming headphones. You really, if you're spending between 100 and 150, $170 on things, they maybe shouldn't break quite as easily. So hopefully I will have these for a long time, because as I said, I love the features of these. Being able to use them at the same time with my computer and my phone, that's just wonderful. And everything everything else. So we're back with that. I already mentioned the Toby Doom mod, and I also saw on Twitter, but somebody else let me know. Thank you for letting me know, because I may not have seen this otherwise. I covered a little game called Balatro earlier this year on the channel. It's a kind of a poker themed card game. I will say it's not really like poker. You use like poker hands, your pair, two pair, three of a kind, four of a kind, flush, straight, whatever. But it doesn't really play like poker. It has its own interesting, complex set of rules, and it's really fun. It's really addictive. But apparently, I was informed a few days ago that there is in progress an accessibility mod for Balatro. So I am going to try and check that out here at some point when I get a chance. I'm actually going to be taking a few days off of work in the next week or so, so maybe I'll be able to check that out and get a video for that, because that is a game that I would love to see being natively made accessible. but the fact that somebody's actually making a mod for it is really good news, because that is a deep, it's not just your simple card game. There's a lot of depth and a lot of craziness that can happen in those hands, in those games. So, um, yeah, be excited if you like card games at all. Even if you're not hugely into your traditional card games, this one's fun. I like it a lot, and so I'm hoping to cover that soon. I wanted to let you guys know that that mod is out there. I think audiogames.net has a forums page or something where you can, I think that's where you get the information. You can go download it, so I will do that hopefully shortly. I didn't do a video on it. I did post a couple pictures on Twitter with alt text, thank you very much, because yes, I do think that's important. QuakeCon, as I said earlier, was this past weekend, and there was a shit ton of Doom news and updates. We have, of course, Doom the Dark Ages, which is coming next year, and I'm so annoyed that they pulled the thing they did for Doom Eternal a few years ago, where it's like, oh, well, if you're in person in QuakeCon, you get to see the footage, but we're going to cut the live stream short, so you poor saps at home don't get to see this footage. And I'm like, that's really a bummer, because everything I've seen of Doom the Dark Ages looks just badass so far. I mean, you've got, we've heard a little bit of people talking about it since then, but I mean, even the trailer that they showed, was it this summer, was so cool, because you've got the cool thing, you got this almost like a boomerang spiked shield thing that does all kinds of crazy stuff, and that looks fun. They already said it's not going to be as focused on verticality. It's going to be pretty open, but it's not going to be like your weird, Doom Eternal. Like, everyone loves Doom Eternal, but I still like Doom 2016. I think a little bit better. Yes, there was platforming in Doom 2016, but it was just too much, and sometimes it was hard to figure out where to go, and there's just a lot of platforming, and there's that one area early on. I remember even when streaming it, when Riley was up here, it was like, you're jumping on these little platforms, and there's lava down below, and there's these like fire rods, something you would find in like the Super Mario Brothers Bowser's Castle. I'm like, what in the hell? It was kind of neat, but at the same time, it's like, eh. But yeah, everything about this new Doom thing looks really cool. Like I said, we have the Toby Doom mod that came out. Coincidentally, it was a perfect timing, because everybody else was getting the Quake and Quake 2, or not Quake, Doom and Doom 2 Enhanced Edition. And then we got the Toby Doom update. But so I did a video, that was my bonus video for Sunday, or last Sunday, maybe it was a week and a half ago. Wow. But we had, if you owned one of the Doom games already, you automatically own this Doom plus Doom 2 Enhanced Edition. And it's cool, because they have, not only do they have Doom and Doom 2, they have all these extra campaigns. Some of them were in there already, some of them weren't. There's a whole new campaign that's actually really hard, by the way. It was made by Night Dive and Machine Games and id. They kind of combined their efforts, and they even have some like beta enemies and textures and objects in there. That was cool. New weapons, I guess. And so there's that, and then they have cross-platform multiplayer. So you can play 16-player deathmatch or co-op, and that's freaking awesome. So natively, I know people have asked about, does that work with Toby Doom? You can probably pull out some of the WAD files for some of these extra mods, so like if you want to play, TNT Evolution or whatever. Again, if people are having trouble with the Toby Doom campaigns, as far as navigation goes, I do not recommend playing these other Doom campaigns until you're very comfortable with Doom, because even playing visually, some of these other campaigns are kind of rough. They're pretty difficult, and the levels are very complex. But that's not to say that you theoretically couldn't. But Toby Death Arena, I got to find out a little bit more. I got to dig into that a little bit more and figure out actually how to connect with actual people. I know how to do it with bots, but I haven't figured out really how to do that with people yet. I got to talk to Alan about that. Um, and then they're having this Doom anthology that's you can pre-order, which is basically I decided to get it for the Switch because then I have all the Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom Resurrection of Evil, Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, everything in one little cartridge for the Switch. And if the Switch 2 is backwards compatible, maybe they'll run a little better. And it's just cool to have. And it comes with a little replica BFG. So hell yeah, I kind of want that. So we got that coming. They announced a Doom. This was really interesting. So limited run games, you can't get it yet, but they're doing an enhanced Super Nintendo port, which is sort of fascinating because I remember seeing the Super Nintendo version and it was parts of it were really cool, but parts of it were really rough. I mean, the graphics were kind of really bad compared to some of the other ports. It was missing levels and whole parts, like different parts of the different campaigns. And so they're actually going back and they're kind of replicating technology that would be used in like the Super FX chip to redo and have a fully complete Doom SNES cartridge. So you have the first 3 episodes and you have Thy Flesh Consumed, which that episode can fuck off because it's just, I do not like Thy Flesh Consumed. It's just brutal. But that's a really neat kind of a thing. So I don't know. I mean, I might look into that at some point because, like I said, Doom is my favorite game ever, and it would just be kind of cool to see what kind of stuff they're going to have with that. So it was a big weekend for Doom, accessible and otherwise. So a lot of Doom stuff happening. That was a pretty fun thing. Oh yeah, and so along with the other Doom stuff, they had a new thing on their store, which I just had to laugh when I saw it. And so I went to the Bethesda store, and you can get these now. I already have them at home. Like I said, I posted pictures of them earlier, and I don't know, maybe I'll do a Geek Loot Spotlight video for them. But I've got on my desk here. If you're familiar with Doom lore, Doom Guy got really pissed and kind of went all John Wick because they killed his poor bunny rabbit. They killed his bunny rabbit, Daisy. You see at the end of if you beat the first or the third episode in Doom, it pans over to the left and you see Daisy's head on a pike. And so yes, they have a Daisy plushie where the head is actually magnetic, so you can just pull the head off, and then there's like a little hole you can just shove it down on there's a little plinth. You just put it on the pike, and there's like the Doom logo in front, on the ground. It's like the hell texture, and so it's like this head on a pike, and you can put Daisy's head on the pike. So that's on my desk right now, my little desk guardian. And while I was there, since they had it, I'm like, yeah, what the heck? It's just amusing. I bought one of the Cacodemon plushies. And if about the little couch pillows, the little square ones, it's about that big. So the plushie, the Cacodemon plushie is actually he's pretty fuzzy and he's pretty big. But the bunny rabbit, she's not very big, but it's the pike thing is very thick and big plastic, so but yeah, it's a cool little plushie. I was just super amused. I'm like, yeah, I got to get the bunny rabbit plushie. So when people come over and they see this severed rabbit's head on my desk, they're like, what the frick? I had to get it. So maybe I'll do a short Geek Luke spotlight for that at some point, but. Yeah, a lot of Doom stuff. So Oh, and then we had the Doom Ray Trace thing that came out with the Doom 2 Ray Trace. I think I covered the original Doom Ray Trace earlier, but they have a Doom 2 Ray Trace now, and it is kind of pretty. Um, if you can see well enough to see it, it's pretty cool. So check that video out too. Lots of Doom. One other thing I wanted to talk about that was sort of interesting that has been circling around the social media verse, Twitterverse lately, because there's been so many things, people have been talking about, what it's like streaming or what it's like doing YouTube and burnout and monetization and the algorithm and censorship. And there's so many aspects to this. And I've talked a little bit about that. I did a video fairly recently on the Growing Up Illegally Cited playlist about, what I learned as a YouTube creator so far. I've been doing this for over 12 years now, which is kind of frightening. But so I've been around a block or two. And there is a bit of fatigue factor to it. You've been doing it for so long. Maybe you're doing the same content. You get a lull or whatever. There's not as many things out that interest you. You hear all this constant bad news that's happening. I mean, look at all the layoffs and closures in the last couple of years. I mean, hell, we just had this was another thing I had on my topic list here was Game Informer closing. And it was a real dick move the way they did it too, because GameStop has owned Game Informer for years now, and that was kind of their bundle deal. Like you go buy a game from them, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to sign up for our Game Informer subscription?" Blah blah blah. But they started really doing some pretty good work. There's a lot of people that are around the industry and various other websites and development companies and things like that kind of got their start at Game Informer. But I keep saying GameStop basically just one day about a week ago said, no, by the way, we're closing it. And not only are we closing everything down, everything that's online on the GameStop website or the Game Informer website, gone. Any videos, any podcasts, any articles, anything written, everything was just unceremoniously just dumped, closed up. People couldn't back anything up or download or archive anything. So people are justifiably upset about about that. And there are some people trying to get old issues and pull them together so that people can archive them and preserve them somewhere, which is good. But that was, as far as North America goes, I mean, I remember being kind of surprised when Nintendo Power shut down, but Game Informer was sort of our last big mainstream game magazine that was still sort of hanging in there. I'm kind of surprised they lasted as long as they did. But we keep hearing about layoffs and closures and shutdowns and just, all these executives and CEOs and all this crap where, we'll just, it's all about just the money and the short-term profits and incentives and whatever makes us look better. Screw the people actually making the games, doing the work. So all those things combined, you're a YouTube creator or a streamer or writer or, anything creative, whether it's tech or gaming, because, it's not just gaming, it's technology, it's gaming, it's everywhere now. Everyone, it's all about the bottom line, my friend. And so, it can, sometimes you're like, why do I keep doing this? So there's some fatigue and stuff like that to it. And then a lot of the, there's so many people, like even during my day job, like I get clients who, I want to be a content creator. I want to be an influencer. I want to be a YouTuber. And I'm going, we can't support that as a career path. If you want to do it on your own, whatever, but I can offer them, my advice based on my experience and the people that I know. But, there is a lot that goes into it. Even what I do, I don't really do much, if any, video editing for the most part. but just thinking of things, how I want to cover things, how I want to spread things out, cover different variety of types of games, low vision games, accessible games, PC, iOS, cover these special topics and events and different things. There's a bit of work that goes into that. And I'm not even worrying about all the monetization and the subscriber count. Just for the hell of it, I looked right before doing this video because I get asked every once in a while. And right now, I think we're up to almost, I can't even remember now, 4,230 or 27. We're just under 4,230, I think. I can't even remember, and I looked like 20 minutes ago. But, it's small, but I'm happy with it. So we're growing slowly. We're growing. We're hanging in there. I'm, releasing content regularly. So that's all good. But, people, even the creators, like the content that I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch music stuff. I watch gaming stuff. I watch technology related things. I watch, I don't know, just interesting, kind of documentary. I like to learn about different things. And so I like that kind of content. But it seems like everybody is so focused on, everyone's trying to do this as a living. And everyone is trying to, not everybody, but like so many people are trying to take like the shortcuts in, to me, sacrificing the integrity and just like, if you're going to create a channel, make it authentic, make it something that people would want to watch. Because everybody is all focused on, well, I can't say this word because the video will get demonetized, or I can't say that word because then it'll be M-rated and I can't make as much money. And so, like, I was watching some video about like South Park. It's like, well, we can't say South Park, so we got to say North Playground, or just something stupid. It's like, even something stupid, like simple like that. Or, God forbid somebody wants to talk about a serious topic. Maybe somebody died. Maybe somebody passed away. Maybe you have to talk about, COVID or cancer, or maybe, you went through something, or you had somebody go through a robbery, or, somebody, unfortunately committed suicide or was a victim of a crime. And you can't even say what those, I can't say the R word, or I can't, or I can't say cancer, or I can't say, like, no, just say it. Like, I totally get, being respectful of people. I'm totally about being respectful for people and things like that. But this whole like political correct thing is just gone like, it almost seems like there's so many things. What can we say versus what can't we say? It's like, it's easier to say the things that we can say, because, oh, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't say this, you can't say that. And it's not even swearing anymore. It's just, so you can't say that word, it might offend somebody. You might say the word the, and that might be, I don't know, offend an article of grammar or something. I don't know. I mean, it's just so stupid. And everybody just seems to be, tiptoeing around everything. They don't want to get canceled. They don't want to get demonetized or anything like that. If there's something serious enough where I need to talk about something serious, I will just say the word. I'm blind. Or legally blind. I'm disabled. I have a disability. I'm not handicapable. I'm not all the other weird words that like non-disabled people use to tiptoe around the concept of disability. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I'm legally blind. I mean, my whole channel is called illegally sighted, for God's sake. You think I take that seriously? I mean, yeah, but anyway, mini rant over. But one of the topics that people were talking about recently related to that, especially when it comes to technology and gaming, you get a lot of people who are wanting to be influencers, YouTubers. I personally can't stand the term influencer. I do not consider myself an influencer. I just, every time I hear that word, I kind of want to throw up in my mouth a little bit. Um, because, like, yeah, I create YouTube videos, I do stuff, I talk about stuff, whatever, but influencer, pfft, no. Um, if I can help people or entertain people a little bit of both, great. Um, but going back to the like integrity thing, I'm actually getting to the point now, surprisingly enough, where I do get a few emails here and there from developers or publishers, and they're like, "Oh, hey, our game is coming to Steam, or our game is coming to X platform. Would you be interested in a code?" Or sometimes it's not directly to me. Sometimes I think I've covered a company's games in the past, and so somehow I've gotten onto some mailing list where they'll announce new titles, kind of just like a mass email update to people, which is cool. Um, but I don't just, go out there and take any and everything that I can get. Hey, I can get a free game. I can get a free game. Cool. There's a lot of games that I choose not to cover because A, I think I'm going to have a lot of trouble playing them visually, or B, I'm just not into those types of games. So even if I tried to cover it, I don't think I would be doing the developer or the publisher. I don't think I would be doing them a good service by covering it because I don't know a lot about this type of genre or this type of this. Maybe they're doing a game in a certain franchise that I know nothing about, or maybe, any number of those combinations of things, I mean, and maybe there's accessibility issues that I foresee covering it. I mean, yeah, I could offer suggestions on how to do it. And I've even had a couple people, like, shout out to Max or Ryan. He's offered me a few games. I've taken a couple of them. He's given me a couple gift copies of games, but he's even offered additional games that I've said, yeah, I don't really feel comfortable covering this because I don't think I would do it justice. I don't think I would be super into it. And, I don't want to shit all over a game because I don't like it or it's just not interesting. I mean, you can tell when people are not interested, and you can also tell when people are like hyping, again, you see these influencers, it's like, well, I got a code, and I got to play the game early, so I'm just gonna, brown nose my way, into this company's good graces because if I say anything bad about it, they won't keep giving me free stuff. When I cover a game, when I cover a technology product, an app, a device, a game, a piece of assistive technology, whatever it is, when I cover these types of things on the channel, I'm going to let you know, like 9 times out of 10, 8 to 9 times out of 10, I buy these things myself. You go look at how many videos are on my channel. Probably 95% of them over the past 12 years or better, I've bought myself. I've gotten a few free codes here and there. I've gotten a couple free devices here and there, and I'm grateful for that. But the vast majority of them I buy for myself. And the ones I don't buy, I make it quite clear in the description. I make it quite clear when I'm doing the video that, hey, I was provided a code, or I was provided this gizmo device, whatever it is, for my honest thoughts. And if I accept a game key, if I accept a product or a device, I only do that if I know that I'm allowed to cover it honestly. Because there are agreements that sometimes you have to sign if you're doing an agreement with a company. There are things where, like, okay, we're going to give you early access to this game. Okay, if they say, okay, you can't cover this until August 29th, okay, that's one thing, that's fine. They don't want to, they want to give everyone a chance to get the same, whatever their words are, that's fine. Embargoes, it's weird, but it's fine. But if they say, you can't say anything negative, you have to treat there's like a positive preview of the game, and you can't mention anything critical. You just have to basically blindly say good things about it and all that. No, I'm not gonna be an arm of your PR sales team. If I love the game, if I like the game, yeah, I'll tell you about it. And I will be enthusiastic about it. But if I don't like your game, or even if I do like your game or your product, just because you like it doesn't mean you can't see anything negative about it. There's a lot of things that I love, but there are, a few things, a couple things here and there that they could do better. And I'm going to point those out. I'm going to be honest about it. I'll tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And I think too many people, like I said, especially they get, it's just like the CEOs and the money thing. It's like, oh, well, I just got to make my profits and we got to make our shareholders happy and all this stuff. You get excited because as a small creator, you're like, oh, this company's paying attention to me and they're going to give me free codes or they're going to give me free products and I can do sponsorships and all this stuff. And I don't see that as, there's got to be credibility. There's got to be authenticity to your channel, to your podcast, to your stream. Yeah, if you like a certain type, like I love retro first-person shooters, so I cover a lot of them. I've been gifted a couple of them or provided a code for a couple of them by developers or publishers. But I've bought most of them myself, and like I said, there are some that I was really looking forward to that I really didn't care for, or that I really thought I would like better than I did. And there's some that I was like, I don't know if this is going to be very good, but I ended up liking a whole lot. So I just want to kind of give people a little cautionary thing. If you want to do streaming, you want to do YouTube, you want to do podcasts, don't be phony, don't be fake about it. Yes, it's tempting to just, oh, I'm going to accept all these offers and deals if they come to me. I would rather, accept things on my terms. And like I said, as long as when I get a game key, if I'm allowed to be like, hey, I'm gonna give my honest feedback. I'm gonna give my suggestions for accessibility because that's what I do on my channel. And I'm gonna tell you what I like, what I struggle with, maybe what I don't like, and I'm gonna give you some suggestions. Take them or leave them, but that's what I'm gonna do. And if you just want me to gush about your game or your product and not say anything critical about it, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. So I know there was kind of a little bit of a ranty thing, but I think it's really important because again, so many people, I see so many channels as like, we can't say this, we can't do that. It's all about the algorithm, and it's like, dude, just make your content. If you make good enough content, you don't have to get all the subscribers. As long as you're growing, as long as you're doing your thing, and you're having fun with it, or you're enjoying it, you're productive with it. That's great. And I know a lot of people want to make this their career. And sure, that can be a goal, but as I said in that recent video that I did, what I learned as a YouTube creator, content creator, maybe don't start this out as a career. Get a job. Get a day job. Get a night job. I don't care. Make this your secondary thing, but try to get something a little bit more reliable, get a steady paycheck so you can support yourself and not have to, mooch off of other people or the government or whatever. Like, get a job, get yourself secure, do this, start small, start to have fun. And if it grows and if you're able to cut back on your hours and you're able to start doing more of the YouTube or streaming thing and you are able to make it a career, great, go for it, do it. But that would be, I guess, just some additional thoughts on what I'm seeing out there online. So to wrap this up, we're going to go really quickly through, we talked about that. I'll just mention a couple. Again, stuff that's coming up. I've been playing a lot of games recently. Um, I just did a video for Crime Scene Cleaner. I did a demo video for that a while back, and the full game came out this past week. And I've been pretty dang hooked on it. You got elements of House Flipper, Viscera cleanup detail, Power Wash simulator, and it's got a pretty interesting story to it. It's like if you like those kind of games, but maybe you want a little bit more murder and blood with your cleaner organizer game. Crime Scene Cleaner is not too bad. It's pretty fun. I'm going to be playing that after I'm done recording this. There's been a game out on the Switch recently, TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. When that comes to PC later this fall, I will be grabbing it there as well, because I want to cover this. If you like Hades, but thought, what if Hades but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? That's basically what this game is. And you know what? It's actually really good. I'm enjoying the hell out of it so far. So yeah, TMNT Hades Edition, or as I heard somebody once call it, Hades in a half shell. That's pretty great. Um, it's only on Switch right now. Well, it started out on mobile, believe it or not. But the Switch game does not have any mobile microtransactions bullshit or anything like that in it. It's just a good Hades style game. Um, We got Star Wars Outlaws I'd love to cover at some point coming up soon. That's coming out at the end of the month. September and October are going to be ridiculous. We've got so many indie games. We've got we got Astrobot. We got a Legend of Zelda game coming out. We got a couple of there's a there's a Mario RPG. There's some other Mario game coming out this fall or something. There's a couple of Nintendo games that are coming out, but there's of course a Call of Duty thing. There's the Indiana Jones game, and there's so many other things that I'm just not thinking of. But like I said, I know September, October, between indie games and a couple AAA things here and there, there's a lot to look forward to for the rest of this year. So the final thing we're going to do is we're going to just run through the quick opening night of GamesCon. And before I do that, instead of Gamescom, I just saw that they announced the first few speakers of October's GAConf, North America. So there's a few people I already recognize on there. So definitely, if you want to go to that in person or if you want to attend it virtually, they're doing it mixed again. So I know they've announced a few speakers already, and they'll be trickling out more announcements, I'm sure, leading up to the October, I want to say it's like the October 28th and 29th or something like that. I always look forward to the GAConf, Game Accessibility Conference ones. We had the European one earlier this year that was good. We got the North American one this year, which I'm very much looking forward to. And yeah, so that is a thing. But let's wrap up here. Let's go through some quick Gamescom opening night announcements. I will say, having watched it, I had it on in the background while I was working, and I paid attention to a few trailers here, but honestly, there were a few new announcements, but a lot of it it was for things we already knew about or extra content for games that were already out. There were a lot of games that were again, just this whole trend of like everybody's copying everybody else and following the trends and following what seems to be popular. Everybody wants to be the new Fortnite. Everybody wants to be the next Call of Duty or PUBG Battlegrounds or Battle Royale or roguelike or it's trend chasing, it's monetization, it's season passes, it's live service. And a lot of it's just exhausting. I just don't care about the vast majority of it. Those types of games, I just, for the most part, do not care. They started out with basically just a logo for Borderlands 4. I beat the first two Borderlands. I don't think I ever beat Borderlands 3. They're fun. I wish they would add accessibility, especially screen narration for all the loot you have to look at all the time and read all the statistics for. That's supposed to be coming out in 2025, but we'll see. Especially, I haven't seen it, but as bad as it is, I kind of want to see it when it comes out on digital. What was it, this past weekend? The Borderlands movie came out, and it just got annihilated by everybody. I think it started the weekend out on with a 0% score rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, it is just, you know, it's bad when people are saying Uwe Boll movies were good by comparison. It's like, damn. I've seen an Uwe Boll movie or two, and they are horrible. You know, when he was doing those gaming movies back in the day, like 10 years ago, um, those were just hot garbage. And if those are better by comparison, ooh. Part of me, because I'm sort of familiar with Borderlands, is like when it comes out, I kind of almost want to see this train wreck just to see how bad it is. And it's a gaming related franchise, and so just inquiring minds want to know. But now announcing Borderlands 4 when you have this dumpster fire of a Borderlands movie, interesting timing. But I digress. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, I wish, like, the campaign looks kind of interesting, I have to admit. And I wish that Call of Duty, I wish you could just buy the collection of, like, I just want to play all of the solo campaigns. For me, I just don't have time to devote to multiplayer. I don't care about multiplayer. But if I could buy, like, just all of the, let's say, Call of Duty Black Ops campaigns, all of the Modern Warfare campaigns, all of the, I don't know, Infinite Warfare, I don't even remember. There's like 25 freaking Call of Duty games in the last 20 plus years. If I could just have the campaigns and just buy them for cheaper, you know, especially the old ones, maybe $5-10 for the old ones, and, you know, let me buy all, because we're up to Black Ops 6, so let me just buy Black Ops 1 through 5 for, like, I don't know, $30 or something, and, but whatever. It looks really good, it looks really shiny, a lot of scripted events. It's Call of Duty. I mean, it's Call of Duty. Goat Simulator Remastered. That was a weird trailer, but yeah, apparently they're remastering the original Goat Simulator, which is really bizarre because they had Goat Simulator, they had all those expansions, and then they went to Goat Simulator 3 just to troll the audience. I covered that game fairly recently. They skipped 2. I think it would have been funny if they would have just said Goat Simulator 2 Remastered, because they didn't make a 2, and then they're just redoing 1. I think that would have been kind of a funny troll, something they would do. But if it's cheap enough, maybe I'll pick it up on sale. We'll see. Dying Light, the Beast. I like the idea of Dying Light. It's kind of like Dead Island meets Left 4 Dead. It's more melee focused. It's got parkour in it. But I've always had a problem navigating the environment. This would be a really good case of blind navigation assist. It would even help me as a low vision player, because especially at night, you don't want to be on the ground because you're not overpowered and there's a bunch more zombies and they're more powerful. And I don't know. I mean, it looked neat. I played a bit of the first Dying Light, struggled with it. I think I picked up the sequel on dirt cheap on sale, but I haven't played it yet. It seems to be like they said, like about a 20-hour game, maybe like a spin-off type of series. So if you like Dying Light, there's more of that coming next year. Black Myth Wukong, kind of I don't know if it's quite a Souls-like, but it's out now. I guess it's like the most played game on Steam recently, but it's, you know, it's melee combat, it's bosses, it's based on this Chinese mythology. I don't know if it has English voice acting, which for me is a big deal, because if everything is in Chinese and I have to read subtitles, the story is not going to invest me at all. So I might have to watch a video on that just to see if it's even something I want to play. I forget what it's called, but there's a Dragon Ball Z game. I don't know what the hell's going on in that game. It's one of those where it's not the 2D fighting game. It's the ones where you're like flying in midair and you're punching and throwing fireballs and all this shenanigans in midair. I mean, it looks really good. It looks completely chaotic, but it's sharp, it's crisp, there's particle effects everywhere. And especially, I think if you're blind or low vision, especially low vision, there's so much happening right now. It's almost hard to process all of the visual flair, all of the visual noise that's happening in that game. It just looks completely nuts. So if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, hey, whatever. King of Meat. I don't know how I feel about this. They started with this weird Jeff Keighley intro. They like made him the character in the animated thing that they did. But the game kind of looks like it could be neat. It's like this multiplayer, like dungeon. I don't know if it's a dungeon creator, but like dungeon crawler, traps and combat type of thing. Cartoony. I mean, I need to know more about it, but that one could potentially be interesting. I just thought it was a little weird, the whole Jeff Keighley thing in there. Linked, Lynked. There's a subtitle, but I didn't get to read it. It's just sort of robot battle game. Unfortunately, there is like dialogue and story, but it was weird because they were doing like voice acting. It sounded human, but it was gibberish. Either that or it was a different language or it was gibberish because you see the blue text bubbles come up and it was like blah, 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 and it was just I didn't know what they were talking about. So it's like, man, especially if you're gonna do human voice acting to do gibberish, just have them speak. I don't know. That's my thing. Lost Records, I don't know what to think about this. If it's like a adventure type of game, like a Life is Strange kind of game. I'm surprised people aren't freaking out about that. Oh, it's all woke and there's lesbians and there's ho 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 ho. But it kind of has this neat premise. You have these high school girls and something about starting a band or something. I don't know. I mean, it seems pretty low key. It's really story based. No More Room in Hell 2. I haven't even played the first one. I don't even know really what kind of games these are. I don't know if they're like third-person action, if they're Souls. I think there was a lot of pre-rendered stuff for this one. Arc Raiders. This seemed like another one of these, again, free-to-play shoot. I don't know if it's free-to-play, but it seemed like another shooter. Again, you've got so many of these games, and it's just they all sort of run together to me. You got these live service games and team-based games, and it's going to take a lot to make me care. Infinity Nikki, I don't know what the hell this game is. It's all bright. I mean, it's bright and colorful, sure, great, but I still don't even know what the hell this game even is. It was weird. That's really the best description I can say because I don't remember if they really showed a lot of gameplay. Even if they did, I didn't recognize it as gameplay because I really didn't know what the hell was going on in that game. But yeah. Space Marine 2, that's coming out in September, I believe. That game actually looks really cool. That one I've got my eye on. Third-person action shooter melee stuff that looks really pretty cool. Reanimal, I don't know what that really was. It was, again, kind of weird. I think it didn't show a lot of gameplay. Dune Awakening, again, this seems to be some sort of online server-esque sort of a thing. You got you and your buddies and your clans, and you're fighting over spice and things. And I don't know much. I've never really gotten into the whole Dune universe. If you're into that, that might be cool. But like I said, I think it's going to be another one of these like live service, multiplayer, open world things that just doesn't really do much for me. Genshin Impact, new content for that. And again, the thing, I covered Genshin Impact on the channel a couple years ago, and I like the art style. Even the gameplay isn't that bad. It kind of had some Zelda-esque, like 3D Zelda Wind Waker style dungeons and puzzles and combat, but there's so goddamn many currencies and recrafting resources and random, like, oh, you need these currencies to get this type of thing, to get this character, and even if you do, you're getting a random character. It could be a duplicate. It could be, I mean, it's just, oh, these multiple currencies and random loot, and if you unlock a character, you don't know if you're going to get the one you want, and I hate all of that nonsense. Like, you know, if you unlock things by progression, fine. But again, you know, you got these games that have a potentially decent game behind them, but it's ruined by these live service microtransactions and all this other bullshit that I just can't bring myself to care. Monster Hunter Wild, you know, again, that's a game that I could see myself sort of getting into if they would add accessibility features to them. Little navigation assist, especially menu narration to go through all, again, you're going through loot and crafting your items and all this stuff. It would be really nice if that was spoken aloud. It seems like it could be kind of neat, but it's just, again, finding so much time and to play those types of games, and if I'm struggling with the UI and getting lost, I just don't know. So maybe, you know, if they add accessibility into a future version, maybe. Monument Valley 3, that was, you know, it's a puzzle game. It started on the iOS, I believe, and then it came to other platforms. Kind of this isometric, you got these little pathways and such. I think I tried the first game, but I kind of had a little bit of trouble seeing it, so I never really played much of it since. Civilization 7, I guess they had a little bit of gameplay for it, and then after the event they were going to have some sort of a deep dive showcase. You know, again, that's a game that I wouldn't even consider playing without accessibility features, because there's many small things on the screen. There's many icons. There's many bits of small text and UI, and like, if you even want me to try to attempt a game like that, there's going to have to be a lot of accessibility added. So, and you know, I'm generally not into those types of games to begin with. But if you want me to try one, you're going to have some blind accessibility for that. Starfield update, there's some vehicle thing that's coming out at the end of this month, and there's like the expansion or paid DLC or something coming out in September. I really wish I liked this game more. Like, I covered it on the channel. There were parts of it I liked. I generally love Bethesda open world RPGs. And I love the idea of Skyrim in space. I do. But again, you know, accessibility would go a long way. Better navigation assists, text-to-speech for menus and UI. It did not click with me at all, near as much as I hoped it would. So, I don't know, will I get back to it one day? Maybe. We'll see. Marvel Rivals, again, some kind of third-person action-y game, online, probably live service-y type of thing. I like Marvel, but meh, I'll wait and see. Secret Level, Amazon Prime series. I don't exactly know what this is, but it seems like this live action, they're basing it on like stories based on existing franchises or something. It's coming out in December on Amazon Prime Video. From what little bit I've heard of it, I don't know much about it, but it sounds intriguing, and I do have Amazon Prime, so I'll check it out. I like the guy who was up there. He was really emotional about it. He was like really proud of it. So I really hope it turns out well. I hope it does. Again, Delta Force or some Delta Force game. You know, again, your online shooter, PvP, whatever. It's just really hard for me to probably see team-based stuff. Again, it's going to be with all the games that people are already playing and are addicted to. You know, how many more can you have? I hope it does well, but I'm not super interested in it myself. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I really wanted to play the first game. I haven't yet. It's a deep role-playing RPG. I believe it's first person, maybe third person. I forget even. But it's kind of like Skyrim, but way more detailed in a way. I saw a couple of videos of people playing it, and again, it's one of those where I think as much as I could get into it, I think for me to really be able to play it and get it early, I would need more accessibility to help me out. Menu narration, navigation assist, especially things like that. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it still looks intriguing, but I don't even know what this game is. Zenless Zone Zero. It's out already. It looked like it had some sort of anime look to it, but it's some sort of multiplayer type spiel. I don't know. Arkham Shadow VR for the Oculus Quest 3 or the Meta Quest 3. Admittedly, this looks kind of neat. They showed a lot of gameplay for it. Batman was using like batarangs and grappling hooks and punching dudes. It looked like there was, real-time movement, so it's not like snap movement or whatever. It actually looked like it could be pretty neat. I don't have a Quest 3. I've heard some good things. A friend of mine has been telling me about some new features that they've been adding to the Quest 3. Not accessibility per se, but things that make like media consumption, watching media and connecting your Quest 3 to other devices, that can be kind of neat. Be kind of, if they did like a Batman, Batman paint job for like a limited edition Quest 3, some of the other features, if they was on sale around this holiday, I could be tempted, because there are a couple games that do have accessibility features that I would like to try, and for some of the media stuff, I could maybe see it being a thing. But I don't know. I mean, for a VR game, I thought Batman Arkham, what do they call it? Arkham Shadow VR. That looked pretty neat. Little Nightmares 3, I haven't played the first two. Kind of these kind of cartoony but horror type games. They kind of got a creepy vibe to them. Look pretty neat. Hurdling, I don't know what the heck this is. Some kind of third person. You got these animals or critter things and these open world areas, and it looked like they were showing some gameplay, but I don't really know what's all involved or what you do in the game. Masters of Albion. This one caught me off guard. Peter Molyneux, of all people, comes on stage and shows they unveiled the gameplay trailer for it. And I have to say, I'm actually kind of intrigued. I don't know if this game is going to be coming out or when it's going to be coming out, but you can wishlist it on Steam. Peter Molyneux, for those who don't know or don't remember, was the guy behind games like Dungeon Keeper. I don't really like real-time strategy games much, but Dungeon Keeper 1 and 2 were great. The Fable games, 1, 2, and 3. Fable, he was behind those. Black and White, where you had this, you had this creature. It was a god game, but then you had this creature that was sort of acting as your in-world avatar. You would kind of do things, and the creature would learn by what you do, and then it would handle situations based on the people in your game. If you were good to your creature, he would be helpful to the people. If you were mean, you could make him just like this complete icon of chaos. It just is really interesting. But it seems like this Masters of Albion kind of takes elements of all these types of games, because it's like a god game, but then you can go down and possess any of the people at ground level when you're fighting at night, and play it like a Fable third-person game type of deal. I don't know. And the one thing I had to laugh when Peter was up there on the stage, he was talking. Yeah, I know. For a while, I did the whole mobile game thing. What was I thinking, or why did I don't remember how it was worded, but it's like, why did I do that? It's like, oh no, I got to go back to what I used to do. I got to go back home and like go do what I'm familiar with. Go back to my ground. So that was a kind of an interesting surprise. Arena Breakout Infinite. This was again some sort of multiplayer spiely. I didn't pay too much attention. I think I was working at the time. Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred. More story content. Should be interesting. That's coming out October 8th. And I do know that they are adding some additional accessibility features. They're having, I don't know if it's going to be complete, but they're adding some level of navigation assist for blind players. So when that stuff comes out, people should be able to look forward to. I might check that out again if I can get time. Like to check that out. First Berserker Kaizen. I don't know how you say it. Kind of a third-person-y action game. I hope it's not like a Souls-like. I hope it's just more of like a hack and slasher type of thing. It looked pretty cool though. It would be something that I would like to give a shot. That looked kind of neat. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Again, first person by Machine Games. So, they make the Wolfenstein games. You kind of know their style. They're good at that kind of game. You got your action, you got your combat, you got your exploration. Of course, indie, you got your artifacts and more focus on puzzles. That is the one part that concerns me a little bit. I'm glad it's going to be on Game Pass. It's coming out December 9th for Xbox and PC, but then they said they're also bringing it, it's a timed exclusive. It's coming to the PlayStation 5 sometime in 2025. So Xbox and PC is going to have some exclusive, a timed exclusivity window, but it will eventually come to Sony. But with the focus on puzzles, and I'm sure like all the puzzles are so visual, and especially with the graphic fidelity, I wonder if I'm going to struggle with those, if there will be any accessibility features, any assists, because like I don't know, Bethesda and Machine Games, I don't know that they've really offered much in the way of accessibility for their games in the past, and so whether it's the puzzle solving or even the traversal, getting lost in a level or not being able to figure out a puzzle, as cool as I think the game will be and as neat as I think it looks, I do have some potential accessibility concerns. So we'll see. We'll see at the end of the year. We'll see how that comes out. And then they wrapped it up with just a quick voiceover teaser, Mafia, the Old Country. This is going to go back. It's, kind of a prequel to everything else, the Old Country back in Italy. They just had some kind of Italian voiceover type of thing, your gangster, mobster kind of a thing. And that was the GamesCom opening night. It was in Cologne, Germany, so it was early afternoon here, but it was night there. It was a 2-hour show. It wasn't bad, but again, there wasn't a ton new. There was a pre-show that I didn't watch for probably 20 minutes, half hour or something, but the show itself, I mean, like I said, a lot of it was games we already knew about. We got to see some gameplay for a few things. We got some release dates on a few things. There were a couple of new titles that were announced, but there really wasn't anything that jumped out at me that said, "Oh God, I gotta play that," or "That, oh, when is that coming out?" or "Oh boy, that's really cool." I really can't think of anything in particular that even stood out to me as we already knew Call of Duty was coming. We already knew the vast majority of games were actually already out and it was just new content. Or we knew about the games but got a little bit of gameplay. They limited the, it wasn't a lot of stupid jokes and some of the cringy stuff that some of these types of shows have had in the past. They avoided that, but I will say it wasn't super exciting. It was fine. And I know there's going to be a lot of games that are out this fall and even next year that I'm going to be really into. But as far as the show goes, meh. It was fine. It was whatever, but I wouldn't call it great. And this video has been going on far, far too long. So, I know I should have said this at the beginning, but, hope you were able to kick back, relax, catch up on some news and updates and stuff and, all that good stuff. Hopefully all the stuff I talked about YouTube and creation and all that, hopefully that was helpful to people. Check out the Toby Doom mod, check out illegallyscited.com, check out all the playlist stuff. And, keep watching the channel. Follow me on Twitter and follow the channel because we're not slowing down. We got more games coming. More tech, more games. I'm probably going to end up getting the new iPhone this fall, so we'll see about that. I didn't even talk about the Google event or the Pixel stuff that's coming. That was a thing about a week or two ago, so there's so much happening right now. But nonetheless, that is where we will wrap it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a long one, but hey, hope you guys enjoyed it, found it helpful. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, twitch.tv/illegallyscited, illegallyscited.com, right here on YouTube. And until next time, keep watching the channel. Stay tuned. Thank you for everybody's support. And until next time, I will chat with everybody again later.